What is going on, everyone? First and foremost, I want to say thank you for being here right now watching this video. I do really appreciate your time, and I would really appreciate if you do consider subscribing to the channel, simply because it truly does help me out a lot. Now we're going to be reacting to someone says, quote, "It should never happen, man." Overall boxing pros call out Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson to be canceled, man. Now a lot of people are mad simply because Mike Tyson found himself in a whole medical situation to the point where pretty sure he had to be, medicalized or something. He ended up in the hospital. Let's just say that, right? So overall, it's really not looking good, and the fight is basically postponed to like October, all the way to October, which is pretty much almost the end of the year, man. That's crazy, but a lot of people are mad that this fight is even still happening. Even before this whole medical situation happened, a lot of people were placing their bets. People were also saying or leaning towards the fact that Mike Tyson was way too old. You get what I mean? He's 58. He stands no chance against a young, strong Jake Paul, right? Now this whole medical situation happened on Mike Tyson's end. A lot more people are leaning towards the fact that the fight is over before it even started. You get what I mean? The guy's old. He's being hospitalized. He should not be fighting whatsoever, man. So it's really not looking good, man. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But overall, I'm not going to do too much talking. Just going to let the video play. Then I'll share the rest of my opinion, say what I have to say at the end of the video.
It is important that both athletes have time to compete and to be able to, train properly. But Mike Tyson ain't returning to his best. That's a fact. No disrespect, Mike.
Boxing pros have just called for the cancellation of the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Boxing enthusiasts were left hanging as the eagerly awaited bout, initially set for July 20th, has been postponed. The delay occurred when Tyson was declared medically unfit to compete after experiencing an ulcer flare-up during a recent flight. In an unexpected twist, Roy Jones Jr., who went toe-to-toe with Tyson in an exhibition bout that wasn't officially scored 4 years back, has now shown a keen interest in taking Tyson's place. In a recent interview with Betway, Jones Jr., a former multi-division world champion, expressed his readiness to face Paul. Jones stated, "I'm kind of thinking about that. I might try and get into shape in case that happens. Maybe I will get myself in shape for that." Jones mentioned that he had never considered doing it before, but given the current situation of the fight, he thought it was a great idea. He added, "I never thought about doing it before, but with the situation of the fight, I think that's a great idea, and I'll be ready and in shape because if the fight doesn't happen, then the ideal guy to substitute in place of Mike Tyson to fight Jake Paul is something I have been thinking about. If the fight is out there, then yes." Jones hung up his professional boxing gloves 6 years ago, but he stepped back into the ring last September for a special bout against ex-UFC champion Anthony Pettis, ultimately losing by decision. At 55 years old, Jones is still eager to step back into the ring, especially for a match against Paul. Rumors have also swirled about Jones facing other opponents, such as Tommy Fury and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., grabbing considerable media attention. Addressing these rumors, Jones remarked, "I haven't thought about that because me being me, I only think about being the best I can be and have never thought about that. Then I figure it out in the ring. There was obviously the Tommy Fury thing. That came up, and then the other day somebody asked me whether I would fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in an exhibition, and that's crazy." Jones mentioned that he would be willing to take the opportunity, but now that this situation had arisen, it made sense to get into shape for a fight with Jake Paul, which he believed would be one of the biggest fights of the decade. Jones had previously used evocative language to compare the force of Tyson's punches to that of a mule's kick. Jones stated that Mike Tyson was still the strongest puncher he had ever faced in the ring. He recalled that the first time Tyson hit him in the chest, it felt like being kicked by a mule. Jones noted that if Tyson landed a similar shot on anyone, they would either go down or be knocked out, especially those not accustomed to such powerful hits.
Tyson's still the strongest puncher that I've ever been in the ring with, ever. At 55 at the time, now I think he's 57, about to be 58. He's still the strongest puncher I've ever been in the ring with. First time he hit me in my chest, I feel like a mule had kicked me in my chest. So if he hits anybody on the chin with a shot like that, they're going either out or they're going down, especially guys that are not used to being hit like that. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of people like Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, these guys are bigger and they can take it, but Jake Paul, I don't think he's going to be able to take that. It might hit him on the chin like that. We'll see, but it's going to be tough.
With the boxing community eagerly anticipating news of Tyson's recovery and the possible rescheduling of the bout, Roy Jones Jr.'s preparedness to take the spotlight introduces a thrilling new dimension to the ongoing story. When asked about the sudden cancellation of the eagerly awaited showdown, UFC President Dana White provided an enigmatic response. While his words were dripping with intrigue and setting off alarm bells across the fight world, White mentioned that he knew a lot about the situation, but was not going to discuss it publicly. He stated that, for the first time in his life, he had no comment on the matter, as it was Mike Tyson's world, and Tyson got upset whenever he talked about it. White expressed that it was good for Tyson and believed they would figure it out.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is delayed. I know you're close with Mike. I guess, are you happy that they're looking out for his health in that instance, and do you even think it should be rescheduled, period, given this ulcer flare-up?
100%. Yeah, obviously I know a lot about it, but I'm not going to talk about it publicly. Yeah, you know. Yeah. I for the first time probably ever in my life, I have no comment on something. That's Mike's world, and you know he gets pissed at me every time I talk about that stuff. Good for him, and they'll figure it out.
At 57, Tyson was poised for a historic comeback in the ring, squaring off against the audacious 27-year-old Paul. Anticipation ran high, with fans buzzing about the prospect of the former heavyweight champion delivering a knockout punch to his brash opponent. Unfortunately, Tyson's return has been derailed by a sudden ulcer flare-up, resulting in the fight being postponed indefinitely. Legendary boxer Iron Mike Tyson, who was renowned for his fierce strength and unwavering determination, gave supporters confidence in his health and his plans to even the score. He said, "Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training. For a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon." Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. Paul, who is still unaffected and confident, responded to Tyson's combative remarks with poise. He said, "I fully support postponing the event, so Mike Tyson has no excuses come fight night. My fans know I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best, but let there be no mistake. When he steps into the ring with me, I will be ready to claim my W with a sensational finish. Paul versus Tyson will be one for the ages, and I promise to bring my best for this once-in-a-lifetime matchup." As eager fans await the announcement of a new date, Dana White's reluctance to disclose any details is only intensifying the buzz. Could there be hidden layers to this story? Known for his forthrightness, White's unexpected silence has sparked rampant speculation. What secrets is he keeping? The fight community is abuzz with questions, pondering whether there are underlying issues at play or if White's reticence is a calculated maneuver in the high-stakes arena of combat sports. One thing is certain. When Tyson and Paul finally enter the ring, all eyes will be on them, and the stakes will reach unprecedented heights. In the meantime, the entire fight community stays on tenterhooks, eagerly anticipating every utterance or silence from its most prominent figures. However, Dillon Danis has resurfaced on social media, and this time, he's steering clear of his usual pattern of making misogynistic comments about various women. Instead, Danis claims to possess insider information regarding the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Interestingly, his views on the matter align closely with those of Dana White. By implying that there was a more significant cause for the fight's postponement, Dillon Danis further fueled the flames. Saying that Jake Paul was a slime, Danis said, "I know the reason Mike Tyson had to postpone the fight. I spoke to his close friend, and like Dana White said, he knows but doesn't want to get involved in respect to Mike. It's actually truly sad what's going on. Jake Paul, you're truly a scumbag for knowing what he's going through and not ending this." Currently, the latest updates indicate that Tyson experienced a significant ulcer flare-up, necessitating a few weeks of rest and interrupting his fight preparations. As a result, the match has been postponed. Meanwhile, Jake Paul remains on the hunt for a new opponent, with a recognizable figure emerging as a potential contender. The problem child has racked up a list of adversaries eager to challenge him in the ring. Yet, among those ready to step up, the last person he would have expected is his own older brother, Logan. Logan Paul tweeted after the fight was postponed, indicating that he would be open to facing his brother. Logan tweeted, "So Mike Tyson's out? I'll step in, and we can settle this once and for all, Jake Paul." Jake responded by expressing his reluctance to resort to knocking out Logan, citing his mother's disapproval, but he hinted at his readiness to do so if necessary. Jake tweeted, "Mom doesn't want me to KO you, but f*** it. Loser has to change their last name." The enigmatic nature of the Paul brothers leaves room for speculation. They might be playfully teasing their fans, or deadly serious about their impending fight. Moreover, a former UFC champion suggests that Jake Paul explore alternative opponents in the meantime. In an interview with Ariel Helwani on the most recent MMA Hour show, Demetrius Johnson remarked that Mike was 58 years old, and he was unsure about his health history. He emphasized that the main concern was someone of that age attempting to push his body to the absolute limit. He expressed his admiration for Jake Paul, but pointed out that there were many other boxers Paul could fight to build his record. Johnson concluded that the fight should not be revisited.
I don't know I don't know what his health history is, I guess you can say. And I think the biggest thing is you have someone who's 58 years old trying to push his body to the absolute limit, moving, and I don't know if he's sparring or anything like that. And I love Jake Paul. I just think I would like to see Jake Paul fight. There's so many fucking boxers out there that he can fight and pad his record with. And I understand Mike Tyson is a big name and Netflix wants to do it, but I don't think they should revisit it. I think there's plenty of guys out there that, Jake Paul could fight. And KSI is one of them. He could fight T. Wood again. He could fight Mike Perry, Platinum.
Mighty Mouse follows an obvious logic. It is just too risky of a fight, and nobody wants to see something happen to Mike Tyson. It seems Jake Paul grasps this concept, to some extent too. Jake Paul, a relentless combatant, frequently steps into the ring several times annually. His 2024 debut showcased his prowess with a spectacular knockout victory against Ryan Borland. The highly anticipated match against Tyson was originally slated for July. The fight will now happen much later, and against an opponent we are not yet aware of, though, due to the postponement. He might operate it alongside KSI. This indicates that Paul will be out of action for quite some time, without any blame on his part. Through a series of tweets, Paul entertained the notion of stepping into the ring before facing Tyson later this year. Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated expressed genuine concern over whether the match would still go forward, while Mannix stated in an interview with The Rich Eisen Show that two possible rescheduling dates were being considered, one in mid-October and the other in mid-November. Other fighters on the card are becoming increasingly anxious about the scheduled event. Mannix said there is genuine concern from people that are also on the card. I mean, there are another number of fights that are also on the card about this specific card moving forward. Again, Mike Tyson is 57 years old. He's almost 58 years old. They're saying it's a minor ulcer issue, but I don't think anything's minor at that stage of your life, especially when it comes to putting yourself in the proper shape to fight a professional boxing match. Mannix expressed that he didn't think the fight was completely off. He said, "It's certainly not out of the question." But again, there are people involved who are expressing skepticism that this specific fight is going to move forward. While murmurs suggest the match might just be rescheduled for a later date this year, doubters are casting doubt on whether it will ever come to fruition. According to World Boxing News, a single strike to Tyson's abdomen during a potential bout with Paul could swiftly endanger his well-being. Consequently, the likelihood of these two contenders meeting in the ring and exchanging pleasantries has diminished to a mere flicker. It speaks volumes that Most Valuable Promotions, the agency representing Paul, has initiated refunds for fans prior to confirming a rescheduled fight date. They said in a statement, "We appreciate your understanding and patience during this time, and wish Mike a restful recovery. Previously purchased tickets will be honored for the new date. No action is needed to keep the current tickets and seat locations. Those unable to attend, the rescheduled date are eligible for a refund at their original point of purchase. Tyson faces a stringent hurdle before he can lace up his gloves once more, obtaining medical approval from his physicians. The passage of time has marked Tyson's journey, and with each passing year, the prospect of medical clearance grows dimmer. Since his last bout in 2005, Tyson's age may present an insurmountable barrier to stepping back into the ring professionally. Should the verdict from his doctors not swing in his favor, Tyson will inevitably confront the reality of bidding farewell to his boxing career. The chances of the Paul versus Tyson bout materializing seem slim, with only one more hiccup needed to derail the entire affair. The remaining contenders scheduled for the event are left in suspense, uncertain whether the showdown will proceed as planned or if Tyson's potential absence will prompt a rearrangement of the entire card. Paul's Most Valuable Promotions said, "The upcoming highly anticipated boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will, unfortunately, be postponed due to a follow-up consultation on Thursday with medical professionals on his recent ulcer flare-up. The recommendation is for Mike Tyson to do minimal to light training over the next few weeks, and then return to full training with no limitations." They further stated that both Mike and Jake agreed it was only fair to ensure both athletes had equal training time to prepare for this important match and to compete at the highest level. They emphasized that the health and well-being of the athletes was their top priority and fully supported Mike in taking the necessary time to perform at the level he expected of himself. They added, Mike is expected to return to his full training schedule in the coming weeks and is eager to get back in the ring. MVP anticipates rescheduling the match for later this year at AT&T Stadium, and we look forward to an exciting and well-prepared contest between these two exceptional athletes. The new date of the fight will be announced by next Friday, June 7th. Telemange, the communications manager, relayed to World Boxing News the plans set forth by TDLR in light of an ulcer flare-up during a recent fight by Tyson. The risk of a catastrophic rupture looms large, with physicians cautioning against any further bouts. Should medical tests affirm the peril, Tyson may face the grim directive to retire from boxing for good. At present, Paul and his crew are poised to sustain the ongoing PR struggle against Tyson, with no clear verdict on whether Iron Mike will grace the night's competition. Any additional altercation during the build-up could cause further delays for the Netflix spectacle. This climate of uncertainty spells trouble for most valuable promotions: Netflix, the undercard fighters, and the eager fans alike. With Tyson turning 58 this summer, the TDLR plans to conduct extensive examinations of the baddest man on the planet. Thus, regulators will need to make a decision regarding his health sooner rather than later. Mange told World Boxing News, TDLR is aware of media reports regarding an episode involving Mr. Tyson. At present, Mr. Tyson and Mr. Paul have met the medical requirements for this event. Before the event, TDLR will conduct pre-fight physicals to ensure the health of both fighters. Despite Tyson's proclamation that he's in the prime shape he hasn't experienced since the 90s, his health hasn't been top-notch lately. Just a couple of years back, the boxing icon found himself reliant on a wheelchair due to a significant back injury. During a podcast episode, Tyson attributed his recovery to a miracle doctor who purportedly cured him by tricking his mind of failed back surgery syndrome. The spotlight has shifted away from Tyson's back, though there's a relentless revival of images portraying him in a wheelchair as if they were fresh discoveries. But the genuine concern now lies with the stomach ulcer, a potentially fatal condition requiring delicate handling.
Oh, I have sciatica every now and then. It flares up, and when it flares up, I can't even talk.
Is that the only health problem you got right now? I mean, hopefully that's the only thing you have, and you don't need. I mean, I hope you don't have sciatica right now, but otherwise you're in good health. You're in good health. All right.
If Tyson is eventually given the all-clear to fight, he could have to drop the professional match to an exhibition and make an arrangement with Paul so they don't punch each other below the belt. Knowing Tyson, it's a possibility, but not one he will be pleased with for his return to the ring after a 4-year break. KSI, the once YouTube sensation turned boxer, was caught off guard when he heard about the postponement of the eagerly awaited match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. He couldn't help but burst into laughter at the problem child's predicament. With a mischievous grin, KSI quipped a witty retort to the unexpected delay announcement. KSI and Jake Paul, the embodiment of rivalry, echo their disdain for each other with resounding intensity. Interestingly, the British sensation joins forces with his elder sibling in a business endeavor, weaving an intricate web of dynamics within their bond. Amidst this tangled narrative, one thing stands clear: the impending collision between the problem child and the nightmare promises to soar to greater heights of confrontation. Jake Paul, who is renowned for his confidence and speedy comebacks, didn't take long to respond to KSI's taunts. He took to X with a bold proposition. KSI's coach saying he is over 200 pounds right now, so no weight excuses. Let's run it for July 20th, and then Paul versus Tyson in October-November. This tweet didn't just drop a challenge. It outlined an ambitious fight lineup for Paul, hinting at a showdown with KSI, followed by a clash with Tyson down the line. The jab about KSI possibly using weight as an excuse was a bold taunt, strategically crafted to goad KSI into taking up the challenge. Equally self-assured and never one to back down, KSI fired back with a savage rejoinder of his own. He dismissed Paul's challenge with a counter-proposal. I've already got a fight lined up in August. Instead of you fighting an old-age person at the end of the year. No one wants to see this. Fight me in December instead. KSI's counter not only cast doubt on the allure of Paul squaring off against a more seasoned adversary like Tyson, but also proposed a December clash, affording ample opportunity for thorough preparation, thereby nullifying any potential alibis regarding weight or scheduling clashes. Paul responded with another tweet, still in his aggressive mode, making fun of KSI's appearance and restating his schedule. "I just gave KSI and his forehead the opportunity again for July. He said he's fighting in August. Cool. I'm fighting in October, November. February it is. 200 pounds, MSG, NYC. Get it done. Most valuable promotions." In an attempt to maintain momentum and establish a firm plan, Paul suggested a battle for February in New York City's Madison Square Garden, pressuring KSI to make a commitment. His reference to most valuable promotions demonstrated how committed he was to seeing the fight through. In his typically direct manner, KSI criticized Paul for altering the weight class standards and questioned his motivations. "You asked for 185, Jake, you fraudulent twat. The old folks' home has run out of options. This is all just noise. You don't really want to fight. December, let's run it at 185. No bullshit, no excuses." This tweet brought clarity amidst the chatter, redirecting attention to the key concerns, the weight class and the timing of the fight. KSI's firm stance on a December bout, at 185 pounds, questioned Paul's commitment and sincerity in pursuing the match. The lively exchange between Jake Paul and KSI has not only delighted their followers, but also intensified the excitement for a prospective showdown. Their banter has revealed their personalities, competitive drive, and promotional savvy, setting the stage for an eagerly awaited future clash. Once Tyson fully recovers, can he overcome the odds and emerge victorious against the bolder, younger Paul? And if he does, could we finally witness the ultimate showdown with Joshua? The boxing community eagerly awaits the unfolding of this saga. The latest news probably put a dent in the hopes of boxing legends and crossover stars facing off. Tony Bellew has voiced his discontent over the decision to limit Jake and Mike to 2-minute rounds. Although the match is officially sanctioned as a professional fight, Bellew believes the format, comprising 8 rounds, each lasting only 2 minutes, is inadequate. Typically, the standard 2-minute duration is reserved for official matches involving female professionals. Bellew has openly criticized their choice to compete in this shortened format for the upcoming summer bout. He told Ace Odds, "How the fuck has that been getting registered as a professional bout? It's got 14-ounce gloves and you're fighting 2-minute rounds. What the f is going on?" Moreover, Bellew expressed his frustration, delving into the genesis of the fight's authorization and endorsement, branding Jake Paul as someone erroneously trying to align himself with Mike Tyson's legacy. He depicted the situation as illogical and acknowledged Tyson's disregard for his own record, all the while examining the procedure for granting approval. Bellew added, "Who's commissioned that and who's approving that? That idiot Jake Paul just wants to be on Mike Tyson's record. I mean, it is f***ing insane. I know what Mike's doing. Mike doesn't give a shit anymore, and I understand why he doesn't give a shit about his record, but how are you passing this?" He commented on the unusual aspect of Mike Tyson's career, mostly occurring within the structure of 3-minute rounds. Perplexed, he arched an eyebrow at the addition of a 2-minute round match. On Tyson's professional dossier, he highlighted the conventional use of 2-minute rounds in women's boxing, juxtaposing it with its unexpected appearance in the men's arena. This choice, he lamented, not only tarnished the sport, but also ridiculed its professional norms. He added, "Mike Tyson's whole career has been fought over 3-minute rounds. How is he allowing a 2-minute round bout to go on his professional record? The women's code is over 2-minute rounds, not the men's. So why is a bout over 2-minute rounds being deemed as a professional bout? It's a disgrace. It's an absolute take." In the vibrant tapestry of recent athletic spectacles, few have sparked such intense passion as the clash between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Opinions rush in from all directions, painting a mosaic of perspectives. Among these voices, ex-fighter Chael Sonnen steps onto the stage of discussion, ready to shake things up. Sonnen's focus zeroes in on Tyson's welfare, shining a spotlight on the growing worries surrounding the legendary Titan. The passage of time casts its shadow, coupled with the lingering effects of Tyson's illustrious boxing career. "It's a crime. That's illegal. It's gamed on." Sonnen made a bold comparison, likening the widely debated showdown between Mayweather and McGregor to a tempest in a teapot. Despite Mayweather clinching the win in the boxing versus MMA spectacle, critics raised eyebrows at the prolonged length of his victory, sparking rumors of foul play. Sonnen reached out to Paul with news that the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation stamped its approval on the upcoming bout. Consequently, should the problem child intentionally prolong the match with Tyson, it would reflect insincerity on Paul's part, presenting a significant opening for Mike. "There's more at stake than what meets the eye," Sonnen cautioned Tyson. "The whole thing is an uphill battle." He stated that Paul had too many advantages over the former champion. The former boxer remembered, "Jake's got more pounds than Tyson, in addition to his age and condition." Considering all of this, Sonnen said he was proud of Iron Mike. He said, "This is a really brave moment for Mike," adding that the legendary boxer is putting his reputation on the line for the upcoming.
But yeah, man, that is the end of the video. Let me know what y'all think, man. And let's just dive into my opinion. But the whole this whole thing is crazy, man. You get what I mean? If anything, it's going to be a lot more impactful for Jake Paul's career. You get what I mean? If he does end up beating Mike Tyson. So it's going to be a lot more impactful than it is going to be for, you know, Mike Tyson, I should say. You know what I mean? Simply because, right, Mike Tyson already has a strong legacy. You know what I mean? He already has a strong legacy. So there's really no benefit in him fighting Jake Paul unless it's for the money. You get what I mean? And you know, I'm convinced that's the only reason he took this fight in the first place, simply because of the money. But overall, as you can see, a lot of people were saying he's way too old to be fighting Jake Paul. You get what I mean? He's way too old to be fighting in general. You get what I mean? So he shouldn't be fighting now. This whole, you know, medical situation is taking place. People are saying, bro, just cancel it. The fight is already over before it even started. You get what I mean? Like, the guy's old. Not only is he old, but he seems to be having, you know, health issues as well. So that makes it even worse. So, yeah, man, overall, gonna end the video here. I really don't have too much to say, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys down in the comment section. So share your opinions with me. And yeah, man, if you did make it to the end, subscribe for more content. Not sure if I already said that, but yeah, without further ado, peace out.